Hey y'all, GariTalks here. I've been going through a bit of a existential crisis, it feels like. Um, I feel like I'm getting clearer about what it is, like what my legacy on this world is going to be, what I want to leave, what imprint, well, how do I want to be remembered? How do I want to affect people? What do I want my work to be? And I've done a lot of work with holding space for people, helping people explore their inner worlds, especially connecting with their inner children, understanding shadow work, all those things. Those things are still very important to me. Um, I guess I've been feeling a little bit hopeless and a little bit despaired, or experiencing despair because, like, I don't know, sometimes I think about my work as I think my work is undesirable, like not fun to do, right? Shadow work is ultimately some of the most rewarding work you'll do, right? Being aware of your unconscious, understanding why you feel particular ways, or how your perception is coloring your experience, right? Or the things that you're judging about other people and how to unpack them and understand what your judgments are revealing to you. Those are all invaluable. They're so valuable. I couldn't quite even put a price on them. But I also know that it's uncomfortable work, right? Like, and I think what's giving me a lot of despair nowadays with, like, for instance, inner children, I feel like we're so far from this world where children and inner children are honored. I haven't been in any kind of news things because, like I said, I'm going through my own existential crisis, and hearing about the world's crises on top of my internal crisis, is a lot. But I did hear about a shooting of children, young people, and it's just like I've said before, if the children aren't safe, no one is safe, right? Like if we live in a world that devalues children, and children aren't protected and aren't held as the most sacred things because they came here, they didn't do shit yet, they came here. They came here to discover their purpose, to unlock their purpose, to become human beings, to do something in this world. And we don't all seem to understand, like, we don't all seem to appreciate that. And I there's a quote that a couple of my friends have written that I've said, and it's always the things I feel like you say, like when you give someone advice, it's usually for you too. Like, why else would it come by you? Why else would you be the one to utter the words, right? Obviously it's calling you, there's a reason you're supposed to say it. It's for you to follow too. And the thing is, like, it's your vision. You see it because it's your vision that was given to you. It's your job to see it through, right? And if other when you see it through, then it's up to other people. If they don't see it, that's on you. That was the saying. Your vision is given to you. You can only see it because it's for you. So it's on you to complete. Is the idea of it. And I guess that's what I've been grappling with. Like, I see a very different world than the world that is here. And I guess I've struggled in the past of, like, for instance, being like in psychosis or hallucinating, isn't it seeing things that don't exist? Insanity is believing in things that don't exist, that aren't real. But we also have to be careful how we define insanity, right? Because back in the day, and I remember learning this when I went to this mental health, what is it called, forum. It was a public health forum, but there was I was going to use another word for it, but it was essentially a mental health forum where we were learning about decolonizing mental health and what is currently available for people for their mental health in communities that aren't like the World Health Organization coming in and dropping pills on people, right? How do we actually deal with mental health? But a conversation we had in it that was fascinating to me was the definition of insanity. They were researching folks who were rebelling, I want to say in like 1800s, 1845, something like that. They were rebelling in near Kenya in Africa, and they sent psychologists, English psychologists, to review their insanity because not only is the African susceptible to epidemics of the body, the physical, but they're also prone to epidemics of of a psychic nature, which involves imagining the end to colonial rule. So to imagine the end of colonial rule, to imagine the end of slavery, to imagine a rebellion where you are now free afterwards was insanity. That was defined as insanity. So I bring that all up to say that insanity, craziness, those are all social. Sanity is a social construct, y'all. But I say all of that to say sometimes I be feeling mad crazy when I see this world in my mind that is really not the world that's here. There's pieces of it that exist, right? I came up with it from something. It wasn't just out of my ass. But it feels so far away. And then it feels, I guess the existential doubt part comes from, or like the despair comes from doubting my ability to bring that vision into life. Yeah. Yeah, I frame it in my mind as like doubting other people receiving what I have to say. But that's really so strange, right? Like if you think about when they first made McDonald's and people started making food factory style, people were like, "What the fuck are you doing? That's not how. What are you talking about?" But it has evolved because they saw their vision in their mind and they kept pushing it through because it was on them. Um, and I think that's the thing with me that I'm realizing is like my I believe in myself, but my belief in myself can get quite shaky. When it comes to the things I want and having them. And that feels clear. As I said that, it feels really clear. Um as like, okay, that's the thought that I've been thinking. So that helps. Talking it out feels a lot better. And I feel like when I feel this way, if I feel torn, stuck, and if my job is supposed to be helping people understand their internal world, all of these things, it makes me feel like I shouldn't be talking to anybody because I have nothing to offer. I'm confused, I'm lost, I'm not sure. And that's why I've been off of YouTube, not sharing much, because I'm like, there's so much for me to share, but there's also so much in my mind. I don't even know quite where to begin. So I figure I'd just make this video because this is honest. It's where I'm at. I am personally reading The Body Keeps the Score myself. So I'm in a different part of the book and I've been recapping the book. So going through it slowly and sharing it with y'all. But because I've been going through this existential funk, I've just been, like I said, keeping all the things to myself and doubting myself. So I guess this is, yeah, like I said, an attempt to shake that off and at least share honestly where I'm at. Because I see people subscribe, and sometimes I'd be like, what y'all subscribing to? Why y'all come in here to listen to me? Why y'all come in here to follow me? Yeah, and I wanted to say thank you for doing so. But I guess when when you don't believe in yourself, or when you're going through your own feelings about your value, it can be hard to understand why other people or what other folks are seeing. But I'm willing to believe that people aren't dumb and that they know what the fuck they doing, and believe that not just because someone else says I have value, right? But to believe people that, I don't know, I believe that people can have sense, right? And it's not like they're investing in something that is valueless or that has no value. So there has to be something there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.